thank you for having us. My name's Tim Peterson. This is Chris Hansen, and we founded an organization called Time on the Water. What we do is we take our veterans on fishing trips. We are doing 6 Canadian trips this year and 1 trip out to Devil's Lake in North Dakota, and then roughly 20 day trips, depending upon what Chris can work in. Could be more. It's usually more. So the whole purpose is to get the guys out as an additional thank you for their service, give them the opportunity to go fish and do some relaxing while they're working their way back into being back in the States. So with that, I'll turn it over to Chris. He'll tell you a little bit about the history, what we do, and where we're going with this.
Hi, thanks. I'm just going to go back, start at the beginning, how this all came about. There's an experience that I had happen to me. I have a real estate business, and in April of 2012, I fell rollerblading with one of my dogs, and I had a traumatic brain injury. And I was in a coma. I flatlined 3 times. They took my head apart. A lot of things happened through that. I ended up recovering, obviously, because I'm standing here. But there was a kind of a loss in my recovery as far as what was I going to do? Could I get back to work? Fishing was a huge part of my life. I've been guiding fishing for probably 25 years with clients and things like that. So day by day, things got better. In 13, my wife, and she just keeps trying to shore me up, but we had a dog rescue before I got hurt, and we were pulling dogs out of homes that were being left by the owners, and we were paying for the medical and the vetting of these dogs, and then finding rescues to support these things. So it was just about being of service to someone or something, and that was a big part of my life. But at that point of my accident, it had been kind of taken away from me because of the stress involved with that part of that business, the dog rescue business. We realized I did struggle from PTSD. It's not something that we're talking about where I'm on pills or anything like that. We're trying to stay in front of things all the time. And fishing was able to help me do that. That kind of helped me put my life back together. My real estate business, I kept working and things like that. It's just been getting stronger ever since. In 14, I had started bothering my friend Tim Peterson about my fishing idea, and he knows that I am the date that doesn't go away. I fester in pretty good, and he helped me create a brochure. I thought the idea was so good that it would instantly just come about, and literally that did not happen. We passed out over 1,000 brochures before I got my first vet. And the first vet that came to me that wanted to fish with me was part of the trauma team that saved my life. He canceled the trip because he thought going to New York would be more fun than going to Canada. Then I got irritated, and I got even more drawn into the fact that I needed to keep pushing. And 14 was the beginning of it. So we went from one guy that canceled to 2015. We self-funded the whole program. We had 31 vets on the water. We put 8 guys up to Canada, and another 23 within Minnesota and Wisconsin. And at the end of the year, Tim had got together with an attorney in Egan, and we're trying to put this nonprofit together, which has happened. We're now 501c3. We can't do everything by ourselves any longer, so that's the nonprofit status. And I am able to do this with these vets because of what I do for a living. The fishing helps me be better at my job. It helps me connect with different people. It helps me open doors for my recovery. And at the same point, we're also meeting people that are struggling with some of the similar things that I have. Through one of the events that we did in 15, I got introduced to the VA Resource Center in New Brighton. And what they do is they do therapy sessions with Vietnam vets. There's a few World War II vets that I've met, and the Iraq, Afghanistan vets, and the Gulf War vets. And what they did is they asked me if I would be willing to sit into some of the therapy sessions with these guys, not as a consultant or anything like that, but just to kind of hear what they were going through. And then they would use me as a comparison for some of the things they struggle with, and they would use my accident or my experience, what happened to me, as a different set of eyes on their problem. And then they would introduce, they would talk about maybe go fishing. Some of the guys take a little bit longer to get out on the water. There's a trust issue, but eventually they do. And it's a great thing to watch these guys come around. This isn't just for disabled vets or vets with PTSD. It's for anybody. It's a thank you. We say the tag is it's a thank you more than a handshake. So right now we've got 6 up to Canada, 1 to Devil's Lake. We're booking trips, day trips. We're just trying to get the word out about what we do. The packets that you have a brochure on it. There's a picture on the brochure. We musky fish. We'll fish for anything. Musky fishing is my problem. That's my addiction, I guess. But the dog on there, her name is McGrady. She's also my service dog, and she's in the car with me too right now. But we're just trying to get this moving to the next level. We've got some vets with us here today that are going to Devil's Lake with us. Jim and Scott, both Iraq vets. I want to give those guys up. And thanks. And then the connection for Scott and Jim to me is before I got into real estate in the mortgage industry, I played minor league hockey for a living for a few years after college. But I got asked to be a part of the Minnesota NHL alumni Minnesota Warrior hockey program to do an event. And I ended up connecting with these guys. And at that event, a couple ex-North Stars come up to me and are bothering me for over an hour. And these are guys I looked up to as a kid. Their names are Steve Payne and Brad Maxwell. They're huge proponents of what we're doing. They've endorsed us. They're actually doing a golf tournament for us. And if anybody would like to know more about that tournament, that's in June. We can talk about that. Or please ask. I'm not here to talk about that, but we'll let you know about it. And then the 5 guys that I was with on Friday night, 3 of them knew me from spouting off to them in the locker room before the NHL alumni game. So the feedback is awesome. It's just about getting these guys on the water. At this point right now, I'm not a vet. I'm not trying to be a vet. I'm not trying to compare myself to one. But there's some similarities between some of the guys that served and me. And that's the connection. And do you want to say anything? Come on up. He didn't know if I was going to call him up or not, but he's ready. He's my guy. He'll punch me if he's not ready. Tell us what you think about, what does fishing do for you?
My name's Jim Flermone. I was in the Minnesota Army National Guard for 12 years, medically retired after 12 years. I went on a deployment to Iraq in 2005 to 2007 with the Minnesota Army National Guard. It was only supposed to be 18 months. We ended up getting extended another 6 months. With just under 60 days to go, we were escorting a convoy up to Baghdad, and we got hit by an IED, a roadside bomb, and I got medevaced out of country, back to state. I had suffered a traumatic brain injury. I had broken jaw, broken arm, and I got shrapnel pretty much everywhere there wasn't body armor. But we were all 3 able to walk away. But when I got home, I struggled with a lot of things. I started drinking very heavily for a few years, and got to the point where I was like, I can't do that. I need to straighten my life out. And I met my wife, and I had a kid, and I was able to cut the drinking out, but it still wasn't enough. I would sit in the basement. I called it my hole. I wouldn't leave my house. It was pulling teeth to get me out. I didn't want to go do anything. And then my wife found out about the Minnesota Warriors he was talking about, where he did the event. And I went and joined up with those guys. And that was able to meet other vets in similar situations. I was able to come out of my shell a bit, and it helped me immensely. And I was able to live a little bit more of a life just from having a bunch of guys to be around. And then I started getting into the fishing after that in the summers. And what fishing did for me is more than anything, because when you got your struggles, day-to-day struggles, it's hard to get out of the house. There's so many things going on in your head, and that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand, is the things that are in your head that are going on, they eat at you. And fishing was just something that I'd be able to go out, get everything off my mind. I'd be relaxed. I'd be out in nature and finally enjoy something. And when you catch a fish, especially a big fish, the adrenaline rush you get, and it's a happy adrenaline rush. You're excited. So I started bringing out some of my other buddies fishing. And and especially a lot of the guys I fish with. And it was the same thing, just getting out fishing, all your problems go away. You're having a good time, and it's just nothing else exists. It's all there is, you know. You can relax, reset, and then you go home and you're in a better mood. So I started bringing out more buddies fishing, and it was awesome. And then I found out about what Chris is doing, and I was all about it. And I said, I want to help him out any way I can because I know what it does. I know what it does for veterans, and me and him relate because, one, we like to fish, and I got some of the similar issues that he does. Mine are just from something different. But if we can reach out, and if this can help any other vets like it helped me, and I've seen it help some other vets, but the more we can reach, just for that day or that time when they go on a trip, for the 1 or 3 days, whatever it is, just all their problems can go away. They can relax, they can have fun, and they can have a healthy adrenaline rush. And I think this is something that could be amazing, and reaching out to other veterans, it's just what it is. Thank you.
So, the thing about the fishing thing is I had to include these guys because I'm not a vet. I'm not the face of this. I mean, I'm on the brochure, and it's my dog and my boat, and you know, it becomes a we thing, and it's the camaraderie. There was a Vietnam vet that I got out, and I picked him up, and I didn't really speak to him too much. So I met him through the VA Resource Center, and the Vietnam guys they're a little set back on things. There's still some frustration there with what happened when they came back. I was not born when some of these guys were fighting, so it's like I can't argue with them, and then I just have to listen. But this one guy in particular, I'll just tell this quick story because it's funny. I picked him up. He didn't talk to me. He didn't talk to my dog. He didn't even pet my dog, and my dog is awesome. And I'm getting pissed. And I'm like, so whatever. Like we're doing our thing. We're doing the service thing. So I got to just suck it up. 6 hours into the day, still hasn't spoke to me. Hasn't looked at me. Hasn't done anything. I think he might have looked at Mac once. Then he caught a little tiny perch, probably about this big. And we were throwing some pretty big lures. I don't know why his perch grabbed his big lure, but it did. And thank God for that perch because he wouldn't shut up after that tiny fish. So the breakdown of this is what we're trying to talk to you guys about. We're not here selling anything. If you know somebody that is a vet that would like to be a part of this program, get out fishing with us, please tell them. We're setting trips up. We'll go to Mille Lacs. The day trips are going to be the outreach that we can probably do the most on. The sale point is going to be the Canadian trip. You know, it's one drive day. It's 3 hard fishing days, and then we're out. You know, we'll fish for whatever you want. I met a World War II vet that was in Normandy. He was a tank commander, and I want to get him up to Canada, and he is not sure, and he told me he doesn't want to be a burden to me. That's pretty hard to take, coming from that guy's a hero. You know, he fought in Battle of the Bulge, and I mean, the guys, it's amazing to listen to these guys. I'm going to have to force him to go, and we're going to get him out there. But so in wrap up of everything, that's what this program is. It's not about real estate or our mortgage. I mean, that's what we do for a living. You know, if there's a connection down the road on that's great. But that's what this is. So if anybody has any questions, I can answer them. Or if you need to talk to me in person or whatever, please do. So is there any questions? Yes, sir.
What sources do you have where you can get referrals about vets? I mean, how do you find out about
I'm a door knocker. We're doing these to let people know. I mean, it's the VA, the resource center they work with, some of the guys don't want to go. They're just not ready to go. Some of them will. I met these guys through hockey. Some of them I meet through my business, through Tim, through doing these events, you know. I mean, when I say I have PTSD, I have days where there's a day once in a while where I struggle. And what that means is, I mean, I'm able to be up here. I mean, I've been up in front of 5,000 people. I don't care. You know, I did a hula dance for a company I worked for where they put a bra on me and a hula skirt. I mean, whatever. You know, if that's what I have to do to let people know about it, I'll be the idiot. You know, no problem. You know, so I think it's just everything. These are the groups. I mean, I've done a couple of these events where I came in with a different mindset of having everybody in the group care about what happened to me, and oh my God, you're a great person, and that's not what this is. I'm learning as I go. I'll speak to people for whatever. This is about these guys. This is about our program. We're a small program. We're not going to fix the world, but we're going to try to just get our guys on the water. We're supporting the troops. We've got a lot of good people behind us. There's a lot of companies. If you go to our website, you can check out who some of the sponsors are. If you want to see who we're connected to. But it's meeting people like you guys. I don't know where the next person that's going to send us a vet's going to come from. If I don't get up and come here when Tim scheduled these things, I'm not doing what I said I was going to do. So we're trying to follow through. So does that help? Who else? Yep.
Well, I was going to say, I have a referral, so if you have any extra needs, I'm from Normandale Community College.
Okay.
We have several hundred veterans. We have a veterans club there, and I would love to leave this with them, because I can see those folks over there.
Awesome.
Excited about it. They have a newly formed or reformed veterans club that they call Snafu.
Solid.
And so, I can connect you with them, but definitely I'd take
I tell you that, I mean, for that group right there, just down there, I don't care if it's 2 people, 5 people, 20 people, I want to talk to people that are looking to do something like this. And some of the explanations will come. These guys have committed to me. I'm asking our vets to shore me up. Because those are the guys that it's for. You know, I can't do it. Yes, sir.
My father's a resident of the Minneapolis Veterans Home, and it's a different thought for you, but is there any way you could bring some of your experience, albeit really small, to them that aren't physically active anymore?
You mean to get in the boat to fish?
I don't know. Bringing some sort of...
Let's figure it out.
Bring a pool there and give them a little...
I've got a Vietnam vet in Wisconsin that wants to be part of what we're doing. He's a park ranger over there. He does pontoon rides up and down the St. Croix.
Okay.
And they'll drag poles. They'll troll.
Yeah.
There's an opportunity. It's like the connections that we have, it's becoming a spider web where we can't allow every vet to be associated with us. Jim has been pushing me. He has a boat. There's insurance and there's liability and things like that, but we worked around it. So yeah, there's something we can do. Absolutely. Yep. Anything else? Awesome. Thank you for having us here, and thank you for lunch.
So, in appreciation for your speaking today, a donation to end polio will be made in your name to End Polio Now, which is the signature project of Rotary International. In the early 1980s, there were 400,000 cases of polio in the world each year, and Rotary decided to join with other organizations to lead the eradication of polio. We are so close to eradicating this devastating disease. We've had 7 cases in 2016 in Pakistan and Afghanistan. At this time last year, we had 20 cases. In 2015 total year, we had 74 cases. So success over polio will help fuel the energy of what people of the world can do when we work together. And I would like to give you...
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate it.